Hey guys, this week's video is dedicated to the complete recovery of Masha Bas Batsheva. I read something from a colleague of mine on this week's Torah portion that I found relevant, and I hope you will as well. He writes how he was approached by a Jewish organization that does many good things to give charity. And as he was getting ready to give, he started thinking, wait, why am I giving all this money to one place? Maybe I should give a little here, maybe I should give a little there. And it got pushed off, and in the end, nobody got anything. This is not a rare occurrence that we all go through these situations. In this week's Torah portion, Parshat Devarim, we begin the fifth book, the last book of the Torah, Devarim, Deuteronomy. And in this week's Torah portion, Moshe is giving his farewell speech to the Jewish people who are about to enter the land of Israel. And he recaps the 40 years in the desert, the ups, the downs, and there's quite a few downs and mistakes. And one of them is the story of the spies, and he's very critical how you guys listened to the negative report of the spies, and that's why you ended up in the desert for 40 years. But within that story, he puts in two verses there that seem to have nothing to do with anything, a non sequitur. He says how I appointed judges, I made a judicial system to settle over disputes and to judge the Jewish people. And then he goes back to telling the story of the spies, and it's like, what does that have to do with anything? Why are you telling us about the judges here? And there was a beautiful insight, which is that the Jews are about to enter the land of Israel, to make it their own, to conquer it. And this is not just a physical idea of conquering a physical space. This is a personal thing that we all go through. The idea we have our personal Holy Land, our personal Eretz Yisrael, our personal Israel that we have to conquer and take back and take ownership of. Every time we work on ourselves, every time we make ourselves holier and better, we're taking back a piece of that land. And you might say, who are we taking it back from? Who's the enemy here? Who's the villain? It's the evil inclination. It's those impulses within us that try and stop us or slow us down from doing things that we know we should be doing. And it's very subtle. It doesn't come with us with outrageous things. Do this crazy thing. Because the evil inclination knows we can overcome that easily and say no. It's a lot more subtle. It wraps itself in really rational arguments. Things that sound positive. It sounds like it's looking out for our own well-being, and it's very subtle. But it's trying to slow us down or stop us. When we have these, why am I giving money to this organization? Maybe I should give to this organization. It's trying to slow us down from doing things we know we should, and it sounds and it cloaks itself in these arguments that sound really good, that they sound positive, but they're not coming from a good place. And that's why Moshe is telling the Jewish people, you have to have internal judges. You have to have a judge that is going to look at the case objectively and rule on it. We have to have an internal judge that is going to prevent the mistake of the spies. Where's this impulse coming from? Where's this argument coming from? Is this coming from an emotional place? Is this truly a positive argument? Or is this just trying to slow me down from doing something good? We have to have an internal judge, and we have to be so vigilant because nobody's immune to this. We all go through these. It's very clever, the evil inclination, very subtle, and we have to constantly be on the ball, constantly be looking out. Where is this coming from? And one good tip to know, is it a positive thing? Is it not a positive thing? Is it trying to stop me from doing something positive action right now? Because positive actions always come from a good place. And if it's telling me, it might sound amazing, a great argument. You can't take this on now. You don't have time for this. It is a good thing to do, but do it later. Do it next week. Any time that our impulse or our arguments are telling us not to do something positive right now that you were ready to do, it's not coming from a good place. So we got to be on the ball. And I want to just end off by connecting this to this Sunday is the 9th of Av, a sad day on the Jewish calendar, one where we commemorate the destruction of the first and second temple. This week's Shabbos, the Shabbos before the 9th of Av, is called Shabbat Chazon, the Shabbos of the vision. This is named after the vision of Isaiah. And Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berdish, the Chassidic master, teaches that on this day we also get a vision. God shows us a vision of the third temple. The idea being is that in order to cope with 2,000 years of exile, we can never let our vision go away. We can never become complacent. We always have to stay vigilant. Because if we ever just fall into despair or get depressed and just say, this is reality, we have to just live with our reality and that we're in exile. No. God shows us the vision. Keep your eye on the ball. Make this world a better place. Bring Mashiach. And stay constantly vigilant to make sure that we stay with our eye on the goal. Don't get sucked into anything negative. Chas v'shalom. Shabbat shalom.